What's up, hard hitters? It's your boy Chuck P. C-Ville's finest, and I'm chilling on the couch having some of this real Ville talk with not the bronze bomber, but the blonde bomber. Undefeated, 4-0, Bantemweight contender, Ebanie Bridges. How you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm nervous as fuck right now, to be honest with you, but we're going to get through this.
Yeah, but thank you so much for your patience, hey, and also just your support over the last couple of weeks. You know, obviously, I mean, we're trying to get this interview, and I did promise you, but shit kind of hit the fan and went all over the place. So your patience and just understanding. I couldn't obviously tell you what was going on because I had to wait until it was officially announced, but you still had patience. So God bless and thank you. I really do appreciate that.
Oh, not a problem, Ebony. We're going to peel back the onion a little bit on, the injury and everything else. But the first thing I want to talk about, one thing I always wanted to know, and my hard hitters, where did it all start for Ebanie Bridges? Was this you getting into the fight game? Was this a dream you always had, or did it become a newfound passion along the way?
So I don't know. I don't think I ever really dreamed to be, say, a professional boxer. But I have been doing martial arts since I was 5. So we're talking like 30 years.
Are we telling our age here?
No. Shit. No, but so I started when I was younger. I started what most kids start out in is karate, martial arts, and I stuck at that. 8 years, black belt, did all that hardcore stuff, and the martial arts and the karate that I did were pretty full on. So pretty much from a really young age, I just love breaking things, love punching people. I was always into kind of combat sports and action, like all the movies I used to watch, all action movies. Your Jean-Claude Van Damme, Steven Seagal, Jackie Chan, Jet Li, all that. So I was always into it. And then as I got a bit older, when I got into high school, like karate's good and stuff, but it's wasn't as aggressive. So I was like, okay, well, be a bit more aggressive, and I got into Muay Thai and kickboxing. But in Australia, like women's fighting or women's boxing or combat sports was legal, and then it became illegal. And so while I was doing all this training, it wasn't legal for women to fight. So it was never really like I want to fight or anything, because we couldn't. So it wasn't really a dream or an ideal thing, because it just wasn't allowed. So 2008 they changed the laws for combat sport for women. So in 2008 in Australia, like all of Australia, women could fight in combat sports. Before that, it was just like one state, and it was modified. So, and by that time, I think it was in 2000 and like 5 or 6, I started bodybuilding because I could compete in bodybuilding. So I went from like just training, like I was just training in kickboxing and Muay Thai. I wasn't like I was fighting, like I said, I was just training. And then I thought, I want to do something that I can actually do and compete in. So I went into the bodybuilding. And then obviously it was halfway through my bodybuilding career when it all became legal. And so I didn't really think much of it, because I hadn't succeeded and achieved everything that I wanted to achieve in bodybuilding. And then once I achieved everything in bodybuilding and I was satisfied with that, I was like, okay, well, fuck, like, what do I really like to do, I love, like, bashing people. No, I don't bash, but like, I love punching shit, breaking things. I used to get into a lot of fights in my teens, like street fights and stuff. And I did turn my life around, but I mean, I still like to do those things, And so I thought, fuck it, why not? Why not do it? So that's where the fighting came in. And yeah, I mean, like I said, I was into boxing and kickboxing. Followed that in my teens. I had Costa Zoo was a big idol to me when I was in my teens.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Costa Zoo he was like my hero in my teens. I even dated a guy that had the Costa Zoo rat's tail. I don't know what's worse, the rat's tail or dating the guy with the rat's tail, but he was into Costa Zoo as well, and all that. So yeah, just kind of evolved from there. I'd say. So like I said, it was kind of a thing that started when I was young, like the whole combat sport thing, and then it just evolved. And I was a card girl, so I couldn't fight, but I was still training at these kickboxing gyms. And because I wanted to be at the fights and be around the fights, I started card girling. You know, like ring girl, whatever you call it in the States, you know. But yeah, ring girl. So I was like ringside. I wasn't fighting, but I was still getting in the ring somehow, and I was able to watch all these fights ringside and get paid mad money for it. So
yeah. Hey, well, you know they say you got to crawl before you walk, right?
And you know that's good. Like in Australia, I got my name out for being one of the really well-known popular ring girls, card girls for fights. I was on TV and stuff. So then when I transitioned, if you can call it, into actually fighting, I had a lot of fans. You know, a lot of people. They're like, "No way! Like you're actually like fighting now." I was like, "Man." They're like, "We knew you could beat us up."
That's funny. Now you're also a math teacher, right?
Yeah, high school math teacher.
High school. Oh God. Listen. I did a show about a few months ago, Ebanie. All right.
Yeah.
And I had told my hard hitters, I said, God bless those boys in that class. I said, because if I was in that class, I wouldn't learn a damn thing. You know, I'll be flagging from this quarter to that quarter to that quarter. You'll be talking to my old man. I'll be like, listen, Pops, look at her. Look at her. Would you be able to function in this damn class? But seriously, on a serious note, how do your high school students feel about their math teacher being a badass in the ring?
So they love it. They love it. All they do is ask me.
You don't have them scared in there, do you, Ebanie? I know they say, hey, she's pretty, but she's pretty fucking dangerous as well.
Yeah, it's funny because they are a little bit scared. Not because I'm definitely not like one of those like rousey, like angry teachers. I'm just how I am now with my kids. And I'm just all about pushing that positivity and that self-belief. So they know that I'm like really caring in that sense, but they also like, I don't know if they actually really do believe that like I would hit them, but sometimes I'll joke and they'll be like, oh, miss, like so-and-so said that he'll bash you or whatever. And I'm like, oh yeah. I go, oh, let's go. And like I'll stand up and I'll get in my fight stance and I'll be like this. And they, no, just joking. I'm joking. Like, oh shit. Like, and they, and they actually shit themselves. I don't know.
Hey, she stays ready. She stays ready. So she never has to get ready. She's ready whenever.
That's it.
Speaking of getting ready.
I go, you wait. I go, when you finish school, I'll have to, go on the bridge and we'll do a bit of it,
Right. Speaking of getting ready, you were getting ready for the biggest fight of your career.
Fuck,
against Rachel Ball.
Yeah.
And I see you have this cast on, and I don't know if you're trying to make a fashion statement with that, but you want to elaborate on it and just tell us how it happened. What was a bad sparring fight or bad sparring match or what?
Yeah, so it was I actually fell sprinting.
Oh wow. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, listen. I did. I was running, and I don't know if you've seen on my Twitter, and I like full fucking bananaed and smashed it. And then I just it was a bit of a freak accident, and it was sore and tried to punch, and it just didn't happen. It was bad. But so that, and it's I got it. It's called an AC joint separation. So I don't know if you can see it, but there's a bone popping up there now, which isn't supposed to be there. Yeah. But so that collarbone, your collarbone, it goes into your shoulder blade. It's supposed to like connect. So it's like supposed to be like this, and now it's like that. Because I tore a ligament that holds it together. So it could be a lot worse. It's could be like a complete rupture and tear. But it's not. So thankfully, it's just like having a very badly sprained ankle. Okay. Where before you have to have surgery on your ankle. So you roll your ankle and it's sprained and you got to wear a boot for like 4 to 6 weeks or whatever. Uh-huh. Yeah, so instead of, obviously because it's my shoulder, I don't put a boot on, but it's the same thing. The sling is kind of, does the same thing as the boot where it just stops the movement, tries to like, so it can recover and heal. But yeah, it should be good to go 6 to 8 weeks.
Okay, good. Because I was just getting ready to ask you the duration of it. Like how long were you going to be on the shelf? So, training, like, so what we got going on? We have Rachel Ball getting ready to go against, what's her name again? Remember we talked, I got to do my homework on this.
Yeah, I think it's like Jorgelina Guani. I just know her last name is Guani. Guanini.
Okay.
She's an Argentinian.
Okay. Now I want to ask you something. What is it that you think that they could bring to the table that you haven't seen before? I've seen Rachel Ball, but I haven't seen her. Is there anything that you think that she could bring to the table if you happen to face her, because you're going to face the winner of next week's fight? And what is it that you think that they could bring to the table? What is
it? Do I think that
they could bring to the table to the fight that you haven't seen before? Do you think is there anything that they could bring to the table to match your style or anything like that? Because I think you pretty much seen, a lot of styles. I like the way you bang. I don't really see any. Yeah. I don't think that any woman in your division would want to exchange with you.
No.
So
I wish they would. Even my sparring partners run from me. It's I would, but hey, maybe to be honest, this I can't say, I don't know how to pronounce it. Juanini. She's Argentinian, and South Americans, they love to come forward and bang as well. And every time I talk to people about my fight style, they say I fight like a Mexican. Even when I was in Philly, like the coaches in Philly, they're like, you're just like an Australian Mexican. Like you don't box like an Australian, you don't box like an American, you box like a Mexican.
Yeah.
And I think these South Americans, they fight like that. So I feel like if I was to fight Guanini, I think that's her name, I would just call her Georgita. She, I think that'd be a good fight, but I mean, I think she'll come forward on me. And from what I see, she just throws a lot of punches, and there's not a lot of punch selection there. And she's a typical South American that their defense is their head. They're having a concrete head. Do you know what I mean? Like they're just tough as fuck. Like, so I think that could be a really exciting fight. And it'd be easier for me because I'm not going to be having, not easier, but I don't have to go to them. They're going to come to me. Where Rachel Ball, obviously she's so tall. I mean, she could trade with me. I just couldn't imagine her doing that.
No, hell no.
Yeah, I just can't. So it'd be more of a like having to be strategic in cutting off and cutting in and getting into my short range, into my range, which could take a few rounds to do it. Probably I'm not really like to rush in and go balls blazing, especially over a 10-round fight. It's all about setting things up and stuff. So I think the fight, if a fight with Rachel, will be much more. I think it will be very action packed, but I think it will go at the right pace, if that makes sense. Where I feel like with this Giovannini, I really need to learn how to say her name. I think it will be pretty from the start. It would just go because she won't be trying to outbox, or she won't be trying to keep her distance or anything like that. From what I see. So, but she's only knocked out one person in 10 fights, or stopped one person.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. So, she's a natural super fly. So she's not like she's strong or she has knockout power. She's just tough and throws a lot of punches. A lot of punches. So I wouldn't be concerned. I'm just gonna knock at my door. Wonder what that is. Probably knock and run. I wouldn't be concerned too much about, like, worried about that. And I don't think she would knock out Ball. Ball's fucking tough, but yeah, I think she'll give her a hell of a fight, especially for the first few rounds. So I don't know. Yeah, I mean, Ball's experience as well.
I watched that fight. I watched that fight between Rachel Ball and Shannon Courtney.
Oh yeah.
Me personally, I didn't think it was a robbery. I thought it was a good clear-cut win for Rachel Ball, and I thought that the knockdown made the difference.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, exactly. Rachel Ball has put herself in a good position, and me personally, like, I don't really know the other, but I would love for you to fight Rachel Ball.
Yeah,
I really would. I think that you can get in the inside. I know she has the length and everything like that, but I think that you can get in the inside and really do your thing.
Definitely. She's pretty much made for me. Her
exactly.
fight, like, she's very, like, straight punches. Doesn't have a lot of variety to her punches, and her torso is just there for the fucking taking. And if you know my fight style, like, I'm a body puncher. Like, it's so and I tell you, then they weren't lasting in Philly with my body punches. They weren't. they weren't lasting in sparring, and I know that. So yeah, I mean, it's a good fight for me. But yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely a fight that I would like to have, and I think she will win. But you know, anything can happen, obviously. But she deserves the win. She's put in the camp. She's put in the hard work. She hasn't just come in with 10, 11 days notice to just cut some weight, cut weight and get in there. You know what I mean? It would be. I'd hate to see it go to someone else, to be honest.
Now, the state of women's boxing, period. You know, I got to admit, you know, since we've been on the lockdown, and I've really been enjoying these women's fights.
Yeah.
You know, we had the Terry Harper Jonas, Katie Taylor soon too. You know, and can't wait to see you in action. You got other women like Franchon Dezern and Clarissa Shields. You know, looking forward to seeing them in action. The state of women's boxing. How do you feel about it? Do you think that it's at a good place here, or do you think they should make kind of tweak some things here to make things a little more fair for the ladies? I mean, how do you feel about the state of women's boxing?
Oh, we still have a long way to go.
Yeah.
You know, like, we're bullshitting to say that. I mean, Eddie Hearn has been able to make a really big impact with it. So the UK are really, or just Matchroom in general, if you're involved in Matchroom, you're really kind of lucky. You know, there are obviously other promoters. Louis DeBella has been trying to work with women's boxing for a long time now. He's always supported them. He's probably been one of the day ones. But it's just that platform that Eddie Hearn has, you know, which helps, and having someone that truly, you know, he's putting what the other day he put on 3 female fights, like, and just like up and coming female fights. They're not just big fights, you know, he's putting the girls on and he's making them equal. Like, I mean, obviously the pay is an issue, but I won't go into that too much, but I think,
you know what, he seemed pretty bummed out too. He seemed pretty bummed out that you're not able to make it on the 14th.
Oh yeah,
I saw an interview that he did on IFL.
Let's be honest, there was a lot of people watching that night mainly because of me. Like, you know, and I'm not saying that to be arrogant or anything like that, or think that I'm good, but people are in what's the word? Intrigued. People are intrigued because I don't put much stuff up. I've taken all my fight stuff off. Anything that's fight clips or sparring has been taken off the internet. And I've done that because, like, I don't need people to study my shit. Like, you know what I mean? I'm trying to be smart here. And, like, I've thought about it, like, putting up some clips for my fans, but I've got to look after me and my career. And the less that my opponents know, the better. So, especially now, like, obviously, you know, once I start fighting on those big platforms, the fights are going to be available. But why should I give it to them, hand feed it to them now so they can see my stuff? You know what I mean? I'd rather not. But, yeah, as for the fans, like, people are intrigued. They want to see what I'm really about. So they wanted to tune in. So, and also, you know, the fights, like, obviously Terry Harper and Sanders is an awesome fight. And it's getting a little bit of wind, but you know, I think people just saw Terry fight. It's just the whole of the unknown of me. I think that's why people really want to see it. You know, Katie Taylor, we all know that fights. It's not say it's going to be an easy fight, but it's not like, oh wow, this is like, it's not like a Taylor versus Serrano fight. You know, it's just, okay, she's going to get in there and do a thing, do a defense, and move on. You know, so I think that's why people were, you know, obviously excited to see me. I think people are still going to be excited to watch Rachel and Guanini, just because probably knowing that I'm going to fight the winner. I think people are going to want to see what that's about. So, yeah, I mean, obviously I'm disappointed. I think, you know, yeah, definitely Eddie would be disappointed.
Well, being honest with you, that's the only reason why I'm going to watch it. I mean,
exactly, right. I know.
Right.
It's,
now, Ebanie.
True, you know, but look, and it would have been amazing to be on that card, to share the night with those girls. But I also think if I was in a fight on a card of a male with a male, what's it called, main event, to be honest, like, let's be real, I think it'd be better for me for exposure, because I was in the US, as you know, watching the zone fights and the Matchroom fights, and I was shocked because when they showed the schedule of the fights, all they did was show the male fights. They didn't even advertise the 14th of November. They didn't even talk about it on DAZN or in America.
They did.
They
You're
don't.
right.
They don't. They only show the male fight cards. So no one even probably even in America even really knows. I mean, obviously the UK is a bit different because Eddie's in control of Sky Sports and stuff like that. So it is a bit different over there. It's being advertised. But if we're looking at globally, like it's not the female like the card that Katie Taker isn't. I haven't seen it advertised. I didn't see it advertised at all. There was some big fight nights in while I was in the US on DAZN. You know, like that Mexican one with Chocolatito and a few other ones. Anyways, I was watching and I was like, they literally have listed like 8 fight nights over November and December, and they missed out the 14th of November. I
was very surprised by that because you're right. They did not show anything with the women. And I mean, you have the cream of the creme with Terry Harper and Katie Taylor. You know, so yeah, I was very surprised.
But that's also America. I mean, people say that America's going good and like all that kind of stuff, but they're still behind with women's boxing, as is Australia. You know, they just it's almost like they're doing it because they think they have to. Whereas the UK and Eddie Hearn, they really believe that we should be on those platforms. We should be. We are good. We deserve it. You know, like that. You can see the difference between feeling forced to show the women's and then actually truly wanting to and believing that the women's boxing. Does it? You know, that makes sense?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah. So you know, me trying to look at positives, thinking, yeah, could be on my fight could be moved now and could be on a you know, male undercard, get more exposure. Could be with the fans. You know, there won't be a lockdown. So yeah, you know, I'm just keeping positive about it all, and just, you know, everything happens for a reason. And as you know, I talked to you. I didn't tell you what was up, but I talked to you when this kind of happened, so you knew something was up, and you knew I wasn't fucking really that good. So
I know. You want to know what? Excuse my French. You want to know what fucked me up? You put out a post. What was it? Yesterday or the other day? The flight got canceled, right?
Oh yeah.
That right there, that told me it just wasn't meant. It just wasn't meant at this time.
Yeah. So my flight got cancelled anyways from the US to, like, the airline cancelled it. You know what I mean?
That's crazy.
So I was like, I would have been there, and then I wouldn't have been. Like, I mean, I'm sure probably Eddie would have found a way to get me over there, maybe.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I mean, but still, like, it's just like it was like everything was trying to stop me. So.
Yep. So we don't know for sure, but you said January, February of next year, right?
Yeah, of February, March.
Okay. Now answer this for me. Your next 3 fights, if you could line them up with anybody, who would they be with? Your next 3 fights.
Rachel Ball first.
Of course.
Yeah. Shannon Courtney, because I know the fans want that.
I saw that one coming. Okay.
Yeah. And then, like, after that, I probably would love to get a fight.
Now this last one got to be your dream fight.
Okay. Like, probably like someone like Bobby Juarez or Daniela Bermuda, like a South American up there fighter, like, you know, just I don't know if I'd be ready, but I just want to have that kind of fight and fight one of those guys. Like, would be incredible to be able to share the ring with one of those ladies.
That's awesome. So Ebanie, I mean, hey, I think we talked about everything. I mean, one thing I would like for you to do is plug your stuff. Let people know where they can find you. I know you say you got an Instagram, you got this going on. Just plug all your stuff and let all the hard hitters know how they can get a hold of you.
Yeah, so obviously you can get me on Instagram, which is Ebanie, EBANIE _Bridges. But I honestly think Twitter's where it's at. That's where the bands are at. That's you know, probably my favorite platform. So Twitter is at Ebanie Bridges. And yeah, get me on there. Give me a follow. And yeah, get involved. I love talking to the fans. So, as you know. But yeah.
I want all my hard hitters to be glued to the tube when Ebanie Bridges gets in that ring.
Yeah.
You want to see an action-packed fight. You want to see a person who's not afraid, a person who's going to come forward and bring it. This is the fighter that you need to watch. You need to pay close attention to Ebanie Bridges. I have all the faith in the world that you're going to go in there, whether it's Rachel Ball or we can't pronounce the other one's name, but whichever one it is. I have all the faith in the world that you're going to go in and you're going to show up and you're going to show out. Oh,
definitely. And by then I'm going to have the itchiest knuckles and I'll be starving to fuck some shit up. So yeah, I'll have to.
Now you got to promise me one thing. when you win that title, you got to come back so we could celebrate and talk about the big win.
Definitely. I keep my word.
I know you do. So there you have it. Hey, hard hitters. This has been Realville Talk with Ebanie Bridges. On behalf of Ebanie Bridges, I'm Chuck P. C-Ville's finest. But to you haters, call me your highness. We out.
Thanks, Chuck.